As you all know, I am a huge proponent of amateur ballroom dance competition and finding an amateur couple if you can. But especially after I turned pro, I quickly came to learn that it is darn hard to find a partner. And so this is where Pro-Am comes in. And I'm going to talk today a little bit about the benefits of dancing Pro-Am, because you've heard me talk amateur, but there are absolutely benefits to doing Pro-Am, and I want to dive into those. Okay, so number one, if you are one of the many people, the majority of people that cannot find a good partner match as an amateur, does that mean you shouldn't be able to compete at all? Heck no. Competing makes all of us better dancers, regardless really of what division you're in, Pro-Am, amateur, pro, okay? Pushes you to be the best you can be. And that helps the whole community grow, okay? Number two, if you're dancing Pro-Am, your partner is better than you. And so that allows you in your lessons to 100% focus on you. I found, especially as a follow, taking loads of coaching, both as an amateur couple, newcomer, all the way through championship, as well as a pro couple. Obviously pro, you only compete in championship, but many of the coaches, especially the British ones, seems to only focus on the lead. And I'm like, okay, I'm not a potted plant here. And I would learn a lot, but I really feel I could have learned a heck of a lot more if they would have bothered to give me any feedback at all. And so obviously when you're doing Pro-Am, whether it's lead or follow, 100% of that focus is on you. And even really ideal case scenario, the focus would only be 50-50 on you as a partnership. Okay, next up. If the pro is worth their weight in salt, they are more likely than an amateur partner to remember their routines. Now, I've shared in a previous video a story from one of our channel members here, her pro not remembering the routines. And if your pro consistently has a problem with that, talk to him about it. And if that doesn't change, possibly consider changing horses. But most pros are very confident. It's not their first rodeo. They're much more likely to remember your routine. No one's ever going to stick to the routine 100% of the time in any comp just because you want to demonstrate, courtesy, floor craft, but they'll definitely do a better job than the amateurs, okay? Next up. Especially if you're just starting out in competition, guys, it can be a little bit of baptism by fire. It's just, I remember my very first comp, so confusing, seeing all these divisions, all the different entry forms. Which category am I in? What is amateur versus amateur? I was clueless. And although I never competed amateur, as a Pro-Am, I have done pro doing Pro-Am, and it's very helpful, especially when someone is first kind of dipping their feet into that pool of competition, just to learn the ropes, have them take care of everything for you. Basically, they'll enter you, they'll tell you what you should be in. They have an idea of the skill set going in, so they'll know which level of difficulty you should be in. If you're starting out, probably newcomer bronze. And so they'll be your proverbial Sherpa up the Everest of ballroom dance competition, okay? They can really guide the ropes for you, okay? Okay, and next up. Honestly, guys, the greatest challenge, in my opinion, of competing amateur is power sharing, okay? It is difficult to work out the power balance. And I'm not talking about power in terms of physical dance power. I'm talking about personality power and who gets to control how we do the figures and who can complain more. And it's very, very difficult, guys. It takes a great deal of self-control to compete long-term, either as an amateur partnership where you're both amateurs or a pro partnership where you're both professionals, because you are equals, really. And I think human nature, hubris, there's only one other person here who can be at fault, and surely it isn't me. Whereas in the Pro-Am relationship, there is a built-in power sharing. Okay? You, as the student, are my client. So in the end, you're right. Me, as a professional, I'm the instructor. So I'll tell you exactly what I believe to be right. You'll probably accept that. And if you don't, I'll say, hey, okay, absolutely, we'll do it your way. Just know that this is the way I would suggest for you. And hey, we're off and we're working it out. I found a lot of amateur not so much professional because they're seasoned. They didn't get to be professionals by not being good team players, but certainly it is a challenge for the amateur couples. They can fritter away a ton of time in their practices just arguing. And you know what? The odds are of you arguing in your lesson slim. You know, it does happen, but it's extraordinarily rare. Extraordinarily rare. Whereas amateur partners, you know, I've seen some couples where 75% of the practice time they're arguing, and then someone marches out and they're done. It's like, well, what is the benefit of the amateur partner if you're going to sit and argue? You're never going to get better. And so I do think, guys, I don't want you to think that I'm throwing shade on my channel at Prom at all. I've done it myself as a pro. Love doing it. It's just cheaper to compete amateur, which I love. And I do think there's a benefit to independently being a good dancer away from your teacher. Like, I want all of my students to look good, you know, with everyone, not just me. And certainly there are good prom teachers out there who will keep that in mind, and not just kind of drag you around the floor, so that you can only physically dance with them and everyone else is terrible, everyone else feels terrible, that sort of thing. So anyway, if you have some opinions on this, please share them in the comments. Anything more to add, any questions? Because I am but one dancer in a world of ballroom dancers. I love hearing if you disagree with me, if you had something to add. You know, it's always hard for me to cram these videos into 10 minutes and hit a 5-hour topic. But that's it in a nutshell. I definitely do see some benefits to prom dancing that I was blind to when I was an amateur dancer. And I thought just, oh, sure, anyone can get a partner just like I did. And it's not that easy. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a fabulous day. I look forward to seeing you first thing in the morning with some more things all ballroom dance. Happy dancing. Bye.